Alrighty guys, we are here to talk about two phones and two phones only, the Pixel Fold and the Z Fold 5. This is my 2-minute take on which one you should get. Let's take a look. Starting with the Fold 5, this has a screen size of 7.6 inches, battery capacity is at 4,400 milliamp hours, and many other storage options including 12 gigs of RAM, etc, etc. My biggest take on this is if you're in the Samsung ecosystem already, this is going to be a really easy choice for you. Go with this, you're going to have your account backed up, your photos, you can basically upload everything to Google Photos anyway and use it that way, but it's going to be a really familiar switch to you. The Pixel Fold is coming in at another 7.6 inches. Instead of this way, you think of it as this way. When we look at these two together with the screens open in this kind of portrait area, you're going to see that they look very similar. I do like the functionality and the layout of the Pixel Fold better than I do of the Z Fold. And the reason is because when I'm looking at this, I like the icons, I like the fluidity of working with Google. I'm not necessarily looking for the ecosystem in Samsung. It's not a deal breaker for me. Also note that if you're using the Samsung, you also have the Galaxy Store, which means you have to do updates from two different types of app stores. One of the biggest complaints you hear is that the apps are not optimized for the Pixel Fold. That is correct. In this landscape mode, not everything is going to work, but it's just as easy as doing this. If you get used to doing that, you're never going to have an issue. Multitasking, bit of a different story. Here I have Google Maps. I'm going to go ahead and just drop Spotify right here in the center. I can do on the right, the left, the top, the bottom, down here, but I'm just going to go right in the center. And now I have this little floating window here where I can use my Spotify. Now if I did want to look at the store, I could drop that on the bottom. And if I want to use my messages, I can also drop that here. So now I have 4 different windows that are working for me. Can't do that on the Pixel Fold. So now I have Google Maps open. I'm gonna go ahead and pull my option up here. And I'm gonna pull up my Spotify and drop that on the side. So now I have split windows. Great. So now let's just say though that I want to bring up NFL and pull that up here. When I pull this up, I have the option of either replacing each one, and that's it. So I can replace Spotify with NFL, and that's great, but that only gives me really 2 options to multitask. So if multitasking is for you, if you're getting it for that and not necessarily content consumption, go with the Fold. When we talk about build quality, both of these devices are made incredibly well. Obviously, when you look at the front screen, the biggest topic is always this screen is too little, this is perfect. That's great, but I find myself being forced into opening this one more just because it feels like it's supposed to be open. With the Pixel Fold, the reason I'm using this now as my daily is because I spend 80% of my time using the outside screen. I don't even use the inside screen that much unless I'm looking online, maps, maybe I'm looking at a website or something like that, but generally speaking, I'm using the outside screen, which is a big deal for me. Ultimately, it's your choice as to what you want. If you want more multitasking, a little more polished, 5th generation, is that something you really want, or do you want a new idea of what this folding life is like? Obviously, the Pixel Fold, it's a 1st generation, it's incredibly expensive, they both are. But in my opinion, if you're gonna go with your first foldable, you haven't had one before, you should really go with the Fold 5 because it's gonna be more fluid, it's gonna be a little more stable, it doesn't overheat. There's some heating issues with the Pixel Fold. But if you're already in this lifestyle, if you already had foldable devices and you're curious, there is nothing wrong with picking up the Pixel Fold and giving it a shot, because I've had it since launch. I've used it for the daily device for quite a while. Besides the minor hiccups, which are only going to get better with software improvements, I've really been happy with it. Plus the camera is awesome. If you guys have any questions about these or any about the foldable devices, let me know. If you enjoy this kind of content, iPhone season's coming up. We're going to check all those out as well. So give me a little sub, give me a thumbs up. That would be awesome. Shoot me a comment. Let me know what you want to see. So until next time, we'll see ya.